Now I'll continue with creating these stripes here. So I can use this part right here, tilt it lower, and select the topology brush, and I'll draw over the line. No need to be perfect, since we can adjust it more later. Like this. So we connect it to the center line and create a line like this. And now the down part, like this. So next I'll just need to create a cross line like this. So make sure the polygon is pretty even. Now it should be good. And click just to create the polygon, to create the shapes. And split unmask point, delete the one on the inside, they'll hidden, change the color, and now we adjust the shapes. This one right here, I can add another poly loop. Now just follow the reference. Make sure the topology is even. So we move some of this part. You can use slide also in the Z modeler. We can isolate and make sure everything you can check the silhouette also just to make sure. We can unhide all and Q mesh this, turn off double and flip. And as you can see here, the one on the edges, it has some kind of details. We can add that, but first we can group by normal, crease polygroup, and add some creases on the corner. Now once we finish the base shapes like this, we can add the edge line here, or we can just add using the Z modeler, insert like this, and then we add another thickness. But for me, I prefer to add it when I already at subdivision level. So I add another line here just to make sure we have more details on the edge line here. So turn off dynamic subdivision, and then I add the subdivision, uncrease all, add another one, and I'll select the polygon that I want to add using lasso. Select lasso here, just make sure it's the same size both on the top and bottom. and I'll select this one to invert the height, Control W, and mask, and go to the higher subdivision level and unhide all, invert my mask, and I'll inflate this part right here -5, or maybe too much. I'll just put -3, should be good. And I'll mask this part right here. I'll use transpose line and mask the back part also. Or maybe you can easier just let me select this part here and unhide the, reverse the height selection, and Alt A to group it into 3 part like this, 3 poly group like this. So now I'll select this part here and the down part as well, and then I mask, unhide all, and can just inflate it, put it 3 like this, or maybe too much, just put 2. Now we have these edge details like this. So there will be shapes like this, but this should be fine. It's not really that noticeable. So now we have this part right here. Next, we will create this emblem part here. Be sure to save your files. For this emblem part here, I will create a new tools. So since the shapes here has some symmetry on it, so I'll just using this right here for my base. But first I will just pan a cube like this and dynamesh it just enough like this. So, and dynamesh, and now I will draw this emblem here. Turn on my symmetry. Wait, let me check. I can use preference here and then cam view on, just to make sure I know which angle I work with now. And since my model is in the wrong axis here, I can just rotate it like this. Now turn on my symmetry again. Can just draw it like this. Now it's about correct shapes. So now I can work, start from this Q cylinder here. This one is Q cylinder Z. So now I'll adjust this part right here. So this part right here, the one that we will work with, is on a 0.0.0 axis. So it's exactly in the middle. So its position is right in the home here. If you press home, it will be on a 0 axis. So I'll push this back a bit and save it using a different name. For me, I usually name it ACC and then add the name, like for example emblem 1 like this. So now I'll start adding this part right here. I can delete this, move this part, And for the symmetry, I will turn on the Y symmetry again. So just to make sure we work on the top and bottom also. So right here, if we Q mesh it, it will be look like this. So I will add another poly loop here and group it like this, and now we can create a separated part like this. And now we need to follow the shapes of this part here. I'm going to need another polygon here, poly loop here, mask the sides, and move it back like this. Mask. I think we need to solo everything when we work with this. So for example, if I want to select this, I need to solo mode and then unhide unsolo mode and move it like this. This part right here can have insert poly loop like this and scale it down. Get a bit thinner like this. Now I will add another one here, and that's for the top part, since the shapes is a little bit different compared to the two sides here. And now I pull this right here, add another one, mask it and scale it down. I'll turn off my symmetry, go to the center, scale it down like this. Now we have our basic shapes of the snowflakes. You can turn on the dynamic subdivision level, a group by normal, crease poly group. So we have shapes like this. This part right here, I want to remove it. So we have kind of hexagonal shapes. And for this part here, it has a hexagon, but on the inside. So I'll create like this. And we'll adjust the shape so it looks like hexagonal. I think our model here can be a little bit moved like this. So we need to stretch it a bit, something like this. So this part need to be a little thinner. Now it should be work like this. The hexagon can be a little bigger. So create a duplicate, Ctrl+Shift+D, and we will add insert like this. So now we have the shapes here. Next, I will add the corner part right here. I can just add crease poly group, and don't forget to crease this poly group as well. Add some crease on the inner part of the snowflakes. I think it's better if I reduce the size of this so it's create a angled shape like this. And now I will just select the top part of it. Oh, make sure to turn on the symmetry and select the one on the edge like this. Make sure everything's selected except the one on the center. Unhide and pull it down like this. Now we have something like this. You can add just a little bit thickness. So it's pretty much kind of similar. We just need more polygon here as well, and adjust its position. Like this. I think it's better if we add shapes like this, so I will Q mesh it a bit to the top, not all the way right here, but it's just a little like this, and I will scale it down. And don't forget to add the crease again. I forgot to turn on my symmetry. So it should be like this, so it's a bit better. Pull it out just a bit, like so. So now we need to create this part, so just duplicate that. And we can just select these two part here. Just turn off your Y symmetry. We can hide this part. Still hidden. Now we have these two part with holes. We can just use Z modeler and then bridge edges. Select this one and the other one. This one also, the other one. Now it has a closed poly like this. Just crease poly group. Now we can adjust its size. Like this. Move it to the top and make this tail a bit longer. We can hide the reference and pull this back a bit like this. I reduce the thickness. I think it's better be smaller. We pull this back, and I think we need to add some thickness again on the back, so it looks like this. So now we're done with this part. Just make sure to save on the different files. Make sure you don't overwrite these main files. So once we have this here, you can just merge visible. Now we have this part here. If you open up this one, so we can divide a couple of times, increase all, divide again. Now we have this one here. I think I need the sharper edges, so I can just undo, divide again, increase all. Now this is what I want. I can go back here and select this part and insert this merge emblem here. So we can adjust the size like this. It will be a little bit overlap with the fur part here. Should be fine. Later we can fix that easily. Now we have this part right here. Delete lower, turn off your local symmetry, mirror and weld, activate symmetry, reconstruct subdivision. Now we have on the two sides. Now we need to add on the back part. Just add another insert, your merge poly here, and rotate it 180. Reduce the size. I want this part on the back a little bigger compared to the one on the side. And maybe add a little curve. Turn on your symmetry. Go to the lower subdiv. Move it like this. I'll pull this line here back a bit. Now we have on the back. Now we just need to add the smaller part. Just add another pane. This one also. Save your files. Now let's create the star. This star here. Let me hide everything, holding shift and press the I. And I'll duplicate this part. Just paint the star on the center, on the 0 axis. And just remove everything first. Rotate and turn on your symmetry. Now we have the overall proportion for the star. Just create a pen and just select whatever we want. And from this part here, we can initialize QCube. We adjust this reference to the 0 axis. Now from here, reduce the size. Turn on symmetry. I will turn on Y symmetry as well. So we have these two, and I will Q mesh polygroup all. Move it to the top like this. This one as well. So now we adjust the size using Gizmo here. Like this and like this. The one on the top, go to the center, scale it down, make sure you turn off your local symmetry like this, and we need to reduce the size of the center here. So I skew it down. Now we have the shapes here. Let me connect this. First, maybe I need to group by normal, crease polygroup, and add another crease right here on this center line of each triangle. Let me pick crease here and here. And now I will selecting this center line using mask. Invert, and I will scale the outer part like this. Select the one on the top, and on the side reduce the size like this. And I think I can delete this line right here. Insert, Alt, delete. Now we have a problem with this line right here. So I need to add another line that connected between these two dots here. So this points here to connect this part. So I select this point and add a bridge. Make sure it's 2 points for the target. Click this one and the other one. Now I want to connect this. I'm using stitch. Connect this to this, here to here. So we almost done with the star shapes. I'll add crease on this part here. This part right here, you can just connect it as well. The stitch, you can stitch it. Like this. So now we have these star shapes. Just duplicate it. And we can add insert multi-edge loop, keep polygroup, just like this. Now we have the star, and save your files for these accessories files. Load your model here. Insert the star model. Scale it down. Turn off your Y symmetry. Let me hide this so I can get a better picture. Turn on your local symmetry. I haven't added the mirror and welt for this part, so I'll just turn off my symmetry first. Now for this part here, I will duplicate on another side as well. Here, and I will add this here as well. A little bigger. Add some color. Turn on this part. And now for this part here, I can just remove the color so we can see it more clearly. And auto group and adjust the position just to make sure it looks like symmetry. I will put it right here. So now I can mirror and welt. Make sure local symmetry turn off. Now I activate symmetry. And wait, let me adjust this. Now I can turn off my dynamic subdivision level. Divide couple of times, increase all, divide again. Now we're done with this accessories part.